Good evening, everybody. I'm glad that you guys have made it by the Ag Department this afternoon. I can stand here and talk to you about a few things, but I may ramble a little bit if I don't have my notes in front of me. So I've got 3 or 4 things just to share with you. I've been on staff here in the school district for 16 years, and this is my first year. It's my second run at being an ag teacher. I was an ag teacher for about 10 years before I got here, and this is my second run at being a full-time ag teacher. So I came in last year at in the summer, the end of the summer, and came into the facilities. And one of the things to let you know about the history of the building, and this is my take on this, it may not be gospel, but 17, 18 years ago, is that right? The building age, is that correct? I think that's about right.
2001 is when we moved in.
2001. So 2001, so about 16 years, this building was built. At that time, this was a 1 ag teacher department. We had 1 ag teacher. The program has grown since then. I would estimate that they were probably serving 60 to 70 kids at that time. Between Ms. Sackett and I now, we serve about 120 total overall. So we've got a lot more kids in the program. Some of the things that I looked at when I came in the facility, number one, as you walk through the classroom, you may have noticed the blue lockers that are in there. And the only dressing that exists as far as dressing out for shop classes are the 2 bathrooms behind you. And those bathrooms are about 5, I mean, you can look at them, they're about 5 by 7, they're really small. 1 or 2 kids in each restroom, and that's about the only really private area our kids have got to dress. Otherwise, if we're a bunch of boys, we lock the doors and they dress in the classroom. And so we made a slight improvement. There weren't any lockers in here, so I went and found the lockers in one of the old buildings, and the kids at least have a place to put their clothing. But that would be something that we would benefit from, is to have more room for these kids to get dressed, especially some of our classes where we have boys and girls. They would have some privacy. Classroom, right now, you'll be walking through the high school here in just a little bit. Ms. Sackett, our second ag teacher, who we've added this position since this building was built, she's got just a regular classroom because of space issues and scheduling conflicts down here. You couldn't put both of us in the building. So she's in a regular classroom there on the right as you go by. I think if we could be together, we might be able to collaborate a little bit better. I know we share students. She has some horticulture classes in which they're doing some woodworking, and they're using machinery, and those kids need to have access to this shop as well. And so if they're down here in a different classroom, I think according to the plan that's there would be a classroom there, classroom here, and we'll expand out, and there would be shop. Then we could both be in here and both kind of utilize this shop a little bit more than maybe we have, and coordinate that a little bit better. The second thing, or the third thing on my list to kind of point out, if you can see in the corners over there, those are our welding booths that were built and put in place in this building. They're about 3 feet across, and my largest welding group is 15 kids, and that's about 3 kids per welding booth. So you can imagine if you got 3 kids kind of crowded up in a little 3-foot spot. There's not any shading, there's not any partitions between them. So UV light, it's easy to get flashed, or light, get your eyes when you're not wearing your hood. It's also a challenge to kind of lean in. If I need to lean in and see what the kids are doing as far as show them how to weld or monitor their welding, that's pretty difficult. I was looking at some guidelines a little bit earlier today, and according to those guidelines, welding booths need to be about 6 by 6. So it would benefit us to have a little bit better welding booths for our kids to learn to weld in, and maybe even have 6 or 7 welding stations. So if we grow our classes to 18 kids or more, we'd have more opportunity to spread those kids out. The fourth thing, just to kind of notice something that's a little challenging to us, when we do get those 5 kids welding, and then we've got our wire welders that are pushed back over there, and we get some kids doing other things, the only vent fans that we have are the 2 side fans that are up there on the top of the roof. We had one more over here, but this is what we've got right now. It's just a boarded up hole. So I guess that fan went out. I don't know what the story on that is, but it gets pretty smoky in here. And if you've been to any other welding facilities in other schools, they have They have those overhead vent fans that are above, and they've got the ventilation and the ductwork that really effectively will move air a little bit better than what we've got. So that's something that we would see as a little bit of a shortcoming here. The fifth thing on my list is, and this was a question that came up back when the committee came through, you're standing on the end of the shop that would be our woodworking area. This is kind of all metal. And you can kind of tell that you're a little bit limited here as far as space. And so that's something that we may, as a program, might desire to grow that part of our program and get some new woodworking things and get more space and get some kids involved in woodworking as well. And the other thing that I kind of looked at is a setback in this shop. Some of the things, the safety concerns and things that I have in the shop, in addition to the ventilation system, a lot of school shops that are set up and designed as a school shop should be, there's a power shutoff. There's an emergency power shutoff in the system. And there's not anything like that in here. Everything's just wired up on its own, except for going to the circuit breaker and pulling that. But usually there's like an emergency stop power button in the shop so you can cut the power in case there was an accident or something like that. So we're limited by that. Just space issues, storage. I think one of the other things, we've got one metal storage rack and essentially one wood storage rack over here, and not much more room in the place to store. And so pretty much all the different boards, the different sizes of boards and the different sizes of metal as far as metal pipe and having plate and tubing and the things separated out, we're very limited in what we can do with that. So we're a little bit limited in the ability to stock the materials that the kids need. And so, and I think if you look at the plan, some of those things are addressed, having some covered outdoor storage space and things like that. So that's about all I have to offer, Dr. Brown. And the tool room, our tool storage, little narrow tool storage area is right back there behind the bathrooms. The bathrooms are there to look at. There is an office space right through the classroom. And this is pretty much the ag shop. So guys, thank you for coming tonight. I appreciate it.